How is my account cursed, bro? Yo, what up, Clancy? Yo, babe, welcome to stream. Why do we have piglins coming through the portal? Yo, what up, DJ? Yo, I appreciate the gifts. Bro, I'm chilling. What about you, brother? That's insane. Yo, what up, Alex? I'll just say, where'd you go last, DJ? Yo, what up, Jay? Jesus, so you just flying, bro? Yo, what up, Denny? Yo, it's Rick, what up? Yo, what up, sweetheart? Yo, what up, Denny? What about my account is cursed? Okay, I don't know how the hell I'm still alive with half a heart. Yo, what up, Tinsel? Yo, what up, Simon? Guys, he doesn't mod. I mean, nah, I was just saying, I'm just playing modern Minecraft. I'm using essentials with it. Bro, so the song I sent you, I know this kid ripped this intro from some other song, but I literally cannot put my finger on where he ripped it from. And I'd sent you the link to the song. I should have asked Caesar too, because I know he's musically inclined, but I'm like, I've fucking heard this hook before, and I don't know where from. I'll send it to you too. Yeah, dude, listen to the song. I know he stole that hook from somebody, and I don't know where it's from. Yeah. I knew somebody would know that shit. Yeah. I was like, dude, I couldn't fucking. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard this shit before. It's horrible. But, like, dude, so I straight ripped it, bro. Yeah, I literally, I called him out because I was like, you can't even make original music. And then he was like, everything in all of my songs is original. And I'm like, that is not. I was like, bro, you ripped that from somewhere. Literally. Bro. Bro. Because he's from the same city as I am. No, 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 no. So he's like from the same city as me. Went to the same high school and everything. Well, like he literally had made an effort to call like me and three other kids out for some reason, and I barely ever spoke to the kid. But like, I guess he was trying. Like he put me and like the dude D-Quill that hops in my streams and shit. He put like me, him, and like three other people in a group chat. Was trying to like do like this weird collaboration thing with all of us or whatever, and not a single one of us was interested. And then once we left the group chat and shit, he was throwing shade at us. And I was like, you don't even make original content. And then, no, like, bro, posted this, like, bro, yeah, everywhere. Literally. No, I mean, I wouldn't say he doesn't get, like, any views for sure. Like, he's fairly decent sized content creator. But I'm like, yo. No, I was like, yo. Because, like, eh, bro. No, I swear. Yeah, no. I'm one of those people that I'm like, bro, if you're gonna throw shade, I mean, fucking, at least come bearing actual facts, though. Nah, but yeah, it was just important to me because I like part of the fact that like at least my image, at least like I will collab with fucking anybody, like kids I went to high school with or whatever. Like I'm one of those like fuck it, if my content's doing well, we can all find success off of it. And then DJ was like the same way. He was like, you know what, like I'll collab with people and shit, and I was like, cool. And then we just didn't collab with him because I was like, you're not making like original music or anything. But I didn't even say anything about none of his music being unoriginal. I was just like, yeah, I'm okay. And bro just started throwing shade, and I'm like, but all of his music is like that. Like it's all ripped from someone. Yo, Dylan, what up? Yo, Sully, what up? You talking about my hat? Yeah, no. It's just my Bass Pro Shop hat. Huh? I was gonna say I haven't. I literally just stole this hat from Landon. I was like, you literally missed the whole part in stream earlier where I was like, I literally keep getting asked questions about a Bass Pro Shop hat. Yeah, no, I don't fish. I I am not of that lighter activity, right? I've never been fishing. No, no, they definitely do. I just don't. No, yeah. Alright. I was gonna say, appreciate you stopping in, Southern. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, using Tickfinity is really not that hard. But I got you. Night. No, they were asking how to use Tickfinity. And I was like, it's not that hard. Bib, Rachel said good night. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. You would have gotten that. Her name's just kind of hard to spell. It's got a website for what? Yeah, that's the shit I'm dealing with, Lucky. Nah, it's Lucky Fire. No. See, yeah, nah. I mean, I don't. I was gonna say something about it, but I really don't want to like bash on Buddy, cause I don't know the guy personally, but like I'm pretty sure that majority of the stuff on his website is low key just drop shit. No, yeah, I mean, game is game, but like, yeah, I don't know about that one. Nah, it's so saturated. It's fairly luck. Well, I mean, depends on how aggressively I guess you promo as well. Mm, I mean, no. So like, it's like I was gonna say, drop shipping isn't really luck, but you either have to be really talented or you have to like you get lucky. Half the time, people just get lucky. There is a strategy to it, I guess. But oh, you know for sure. Like, yeah, I mean it, and it's sheer determination too. Like, it depends on really what you're like. I don't know. It's if you're an efficient person, you can do it. Like my brother Mike does it, makes quite a good killing off of it, but he's also like he's already done set up automation for promotion. Like he did all the hard shit just to, you know, be successful at it. But I mean, if you're like, it's real easy to get lucky though. It's garbage. 0 out of 10. It's actually shit. First off, for one, you could get more information out of that. Like you can get more information out of ChatGPT than you would the real world. Like I've literally, like, no, yeah, Hub bought that shit when it first came out, and we literally sat there, me, him, and my brother as a trio, and like, literally studied everything in there, learned like not a damn thing that was valuable, and we made far more money ourselves solo with Chat GPT related fucking questions. Like the thing that people don't realize, yeah, the thing that people don't realize is the fact that like those courses are just going to teach you like the automated way to do it. So you either have like one of two options. You either have to really well automate it or you have to make it organic. Yeah, like it, I mean, dude, it's not even that. It's not anything they teach you. No, yeah. Or I'm gonna be honest, just fucking do what I do. And like, I have an entire friend group that all does something different. And like, we just sit in there and we'll pass ideas around and learn off of each other. Like, it's far easier to do it that way than going to the real world, I guess. Right, but that's a part of the I mean, that's a part of the thing where it's like you got to surround yourself with the right people. Then that's what I would question, whether or not they're actually your friend. No, because if you, first off, if you have somebody that's successful, literally, then what do they do? What do they do? Then why are you friends with them? Right, but that's not that. Right, then those. No, but what I'm saying is like you introduce these guys as your friends. If they're keeping them there for a security, that's a backburnered acquaintance. That's not a friend. Like, yeah, like fucking. I've got decent friends that do similarly shady things, or I don't even introduce them at all as my friends. They're definitely backburnered acquaintances for security reasons. I promise you, I've got some acquaintances that do things, but I still wouldn't. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're friends. You know what I mean? They're just acquaintances. If that's how you want to look at it, bro. Why wouldn't he say slammed like that? Caesar says it like that. It is literally like I landed like earlier today and I was like, wait, this is firing range. Like, I don't know. No, you know who actually has another website though, Q? Hold on, let me go find his Discord name. I think it's like Director or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Director or something. Yeah, Director X. He sells what? Yeah, yo, Kiki, what up? Literally. I would never buy a CPU used. A graphics card is okay, because if it's broken, it's fixable. If it's a 9500 X3D, you don't want to buy it anyway. You might as well get a 97, 9800 X3D. My brother was literally talking about getting one. He found a 9800 X3D on Amazon for like 450, brand new, sealed. Like, huh? I don't understand his website either, bro. Trust me. No. Uh, he just like I don't. Yeah, like they do graphic art and shit. Yeah. I don't know, brother. Now you're asking complicated questions I can't answer. No, I mean you were talking about like people like in the server or like people we knew that had websites and shit. And I didn't know that that guy was like intro level entrepreneur. I literally was just finding this out myself. Yeah, like he's like I don't know how to explain it. He's like a graphic artist, but then like outside contracts and pays other graphic artists. No, yeah. I was gonna say I'm waiting until like I get like um like more shit in the team going on, and I'm gonna start like getting into manufacturing and shit too. Wi-Fi. What? I wasn't paying attention at all. I just heard gone. What platform? DDR4 or DDR5? Why won't? Okay. I mean, if you're already DDR5, I wouldn't go up to 64. I mean, it's useful to have, but at the same time, you're paying almost the same price as you would for a decent graphics card before you'd be able to get 64 gigs of RAM. I mean, even a significant amount of money, it's not the amount of money I'm worried about. It's the cost per, like, it's the cost efficiency. No, like, unless you're rendering something insane, you're not actually gonna use it. Like, I mean, hell, if you wanted to just look cool, you could just buy fucking dead dims that have the same RGB set as your regular dims at that point. But for what you do on your computer, which isn't anything significant, you're not going to need 64 gigs of RAM. 32 would serve you just fine. I don't think even from a standpoint where like you're not worried about money, it would be cost effective at all. You're wasting money when you could literally dump that budget into bigger CPU, like more storage. You know what I mean? I use a 1200 watt. It depends on what you're trying to get. There was speculation that they were supposed to come out. There's never been an official release. I'm not sure they are actually gonna drop a super version, to be honest, because the large like last gen 50 series is incredibly close to the 6000 series. There's not much margin of improvement. Yeah, like there's not much margin for improvement. Yo, what up, Sixty? But yeah, it's like I wouldn't say that even getting if they came out with a TI version, would it be worth it? Probably not. I mean, like I said, if it's a significant amount of money, I mean, let's be honest here. What are you rocking currently? You might as well just go 5090 at that point, right? Because he's gonna get a 5080 and see very slight to no improvement over a 4070 Super. That's the difference. It's not like 4070s. I mean, there is, but it's not marginally justifiable. I'm about to. Right, but you're. Like I've been telling people, the problem with COD has nothing to do with hardware at all. It has everything to do with literally whether or not your Wi-Fi handles on-demand texture streaming. That's all it is. Right, but not reasonably enough if you're only pulling 150 FPS. Because a 40. So you have a 4070 Super right now? And then you're trying to compare that to a 5080, correct? You're sitting at an average of, it's 52% faster, but you're pulling double the fucking power. And you're only running 50% faster using fucking FrameGen. Yeah, about 30%. But like, here's what I'm saying, because like, well, if that's what you're doing, just remember you're bestie. No, but okay, so like, if you're, say you got like a reasonably 39% is what they're saying on raw performance comparison from a 4070 Super to a 5080. But the reason I say that it's not even marginally different is because the 4070s are like 10 times more efficient for overclocking and undervolting values if you were trying to actually squeeze peak performance out. So like, I mean, you could pretty much get like an extra 20% out of your GPU if you took the time to benchmark tweak it. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I just want you to know that like that's kind of how peak performance works. Even when you're looking at like the most accurate chart for fucking comparisons for parts is user bench, and it's typically all done by people that either overclock or have fully optimized builds for it. So throwing numbers out is like best case scenario. But like, okay, so if you're like I was saying with like, say the 5090, right? You don't even theoretically have to move to a 50 series. You could also go with a 4090. Like, find a decently used priced one, and you're still gonna sit on comparison with 5080 prices. It'll be maybe like 25% higher on average. But if you were to jump to like a 5090, you're seeing literal 101% higher values. Like you're going from an average of 304 FPS on lighting benchmarks with your 4070 to the 578 average FPS on a 5090. So like right now, they're like it's like 3K for a 5090. If you go to a 5080, for me it's showing around 1300. But if you're asking like, again, if you're asking for I have fuck around money, that's just what I want to do, or if you're asking for like I have like, you know what I mean, I'm trying to squeeze performance out of a budget, then I would obviously go 5080. But if you just have fuck around money, the stats of the 5090 don't lie. It is the king of all graphics cards currently. Literally, the 5090 is forever going to be the. It's going to be the beefiest. Even Nvidia said themselves, there's no actual way they're going to create a commercial card to top a 5090. Then go with the 5080 route. Like I said, 5080s compare. Whoa. I mean, no, actually, you're paying. It depends on what you consider expensive, but the 5080 MSRP right now. Where? Where? You can get a 4090 Supreme right now, Liquid X on Amazon for 1900. Yeah. Dude, mine shows 1949.99 right now. Okay, never mind. That's it. It's actually on MSI store and they're renewed models. Like it's on their Amazon store. Right. I mean, fuck it. Literally, that's what I'm saying. He was like, I got enough money, and I'm like, yo, what up, Felicity? Right. I mean, but that's not fuck around money then. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going, which I initially said, power per like a dollar regiment, how most people should be building their PCs. 5080 is always going to be the way to go, considering the minuscule change in performance difference. There's no reason to throw it away. Yeah. Right. Well, the fact that you're not running 300 frames now genuinely scares me. Like I don't know for you whether it's your GPU not cutting it or your CPU not cutting it. Because I can achieve 300 FPS on my rig. The only difference is when I start streaming is when my frames tank. I go from like if I'm in Discord even, I'll see like a 30 frame change just from Discord. And like I said, it's nothing about the raw power of the PC. It's a lot about whether or not on demand texture streaming is okay with everything else running in the background. COD isn't a game that peak performance matters anymore. You can't just turn off on demand texture streaming like Warzone 1 and 2. No. Yeah, and this fucker's probably got fiber and everything else. No, they don't. It is if you're in a major city. I mean, yeah, when you're in, again, Texas and Vegas.
You're in Ohio. Maybe not for you. But fiber actually isn't that expensive. How much? Okay, okay. We're gonna shoot this by location. How much is your internet?
$100.
$100.
5 gig.
How do you download?
I mean, it's more like 5 gig down, like 2 up low key, realistically.
So I want you to put this in a playthrough mode. So I get 5 gig internet, right? 5 gig internet, HBO, Contour, Sling TV, and Netflix. Alright? Now, the only reason why that is just because of the playthrough. It is what it is.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not.
But if you
When
were
you
going,
look up fiber availability,
if you were
right?
to go by every single state, fiber is actually very common.
It's not. It's actually under 50% in every state besides Texas, Nevada, Utah. For some reason, Michigan's on here. And Tennessee. It's not like it's like less than. There's more people still running on fucking, coax cables. Like old internet fucking. Than there are people running on fiber. It's not as common as you would think. And it's like, even when you're living in, like, for instance, like Texas or like, again, Nevada, like, fiber is available to the masses simply because they do it for mainly corporations at the start. Like, I'm assuming that, like, even 1K's building is now able to get fiber because the owners of the apartment was willing to spend the money to make fiber achievable there, which is a lot of money.
It's still a lot. More than 2% of the population lives in small cities in the U.S.
Right, but that's fiber availability. Check how much actually have it though, because like where I live, they sit here and technically tell us fiber is available, but then they'll be like, "Oh, well, you have to a get something from your landlord stating that they're willing to allow you to have fiber reran, and then B, you have to also pay the bill to have fiber ran, which is like, in all honesty, like fucking 10K, depending on how far they're running it, and the obstacles in the way to run it. Like, it's not like it's, you know what I mean? Well, no, because if you're looking at like the availability for fiber, I mean, technically fiber is damn near available everywhere. What you need to be looking at is the rate of people that actually have it.
Fiber is used about 43% of the population. Internet
Right.
is
And
less than the top
you
1%.
are right, but again, you're looking at like,
Somewhere between 5 and 10%.
okay, but how many people are actively right now in Houston, fucking Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Vegas, Washington, New York? Right, but you're talking about like, you're like 100 million is a lot of people, but it's not when you really could combine that into the 10 biggest cities in the US. That's your 100 million right there. Like, take your apartment building, for instance, you're able to get fiber there. Yes? Okay, 1K, where you're at, you're able to get fiber there, correct? Right. So, how many people probably stay there? Huh? You're actually not in that big of a complex I expected. Right. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, even that's what I'm saying. He's saying like 40 fucking percent of the population has it, but it's become an industry standard in larger states like Texas, Nevada, anyway. But when you look at those states, you could almost say that the top 10 states in the U.S., which Texas being one of them, Ohio certainly isn't one of them, but Nevada's like one of them. You could say with you've got 100 million just in maybe I could say the probably not even top 10, probably top 7 of those states. You're in Nevada where they've made fiber an industry standard. It's not like you're not paying nobody to install fiber. The city's doing that. It's become a standard. Same thing with like Texas, even though 1K is not in Houston, he's not in Dallas, he's also in the cybersecurity capital of the world. It's a standard there. He wasn't paying anybody to run wires. What I'm saying is when you live in like smaller places like Ohio even being a state, people that are supposed to have fiber out here, whether it be in homes or apartment complexes, they're not willing to pay major providers up of 5 figures to get it ran to a home or to an apartment complex. You know what I'm saying? Right, but how far was, for one, your access point to your home? Okay, and another thing you have to consider is whether or not both cities are running fiber compatible cables along the same routes that you're running your standard coax cables and your standard like even power cables. Like right, right. But what I'm saying is like okay, like Landon for instance, he has fiber. They dug up his yard to run that. Like right. And Masslin's a slightly more technologically advanced. So they dug up from where his normal access points were, like his normal, street poles to his house. What I'm saying is most places in Ohio even or smaller places don't have um like we don't even have a place to run them to the fucking street poles. It's not a standardized in our cable system. Like Ohio is not like where you guys live. Fuck it, we don't even have backup generators in most places. Like something goes out, like we just had a fucking windstorm that took half a city's power the other day. Like it's because like places even where I live are so far behind. Like I would literally have to pay like 5 figures for them to be like, oh yeah, we're running this cable to your house. Like, so most people in Ohio wouldn't even have it. Like I said, that 40% of the population that has that is mainly in technologically advanced cities for one. where it's far more easily accessible because the fee. How much did you pay for running fiber to your house? Right, it was 7 grand when Landon and them did theirs. Right, and that's what I'm trying to say because like you guys live in places where it's damn near industry standard. It's not like that here, and the reason the population or most of it would be considered to have it is because where you guys live is also where most of the populations reside. I'm pretty sure one city in Nevada has almost the same population as my entire state.
I have 3.4 million. You have 11.8 million.
Right, there's 2.4 million.
3.4 million in the whole state.
Right, but there's 2.4 million in strictly Vegas, like Clark County.
Las Vegas has 694,000.
Okay. No, they have for their census they have the county instead of the individual cities. So yeah, you have like 694,000. Yeah. You said between a 4070 Super and a 4080 Super? Right, are you measuring like with or without frame gen? Cuz you can do standard compared benchmarks, but I do like I go through all of them and look up the average scores of unoverclocked parts. Well, okay, right. So Caesar, you have like a 700K in Vegas. We peaked at 70K in 2020, and we've dropped since. Like, and I would say that fiber is even more readily available in places here because we have major cities like your guys' is Vegas. Like we have Cleveland, which has got most of our population. We have Dayton, which has most of our population. I live in a small town. I mean, not really. It's like a city, but mm, no, for sure. Yeah, it's not. Right, yeah. Like, yeah, when you're saying like it's like common in the US, I mean it's not common across the entire US. It's common across the biggest cities in the US. That's what I'm saying. It's not. I mean it is where you go. Yeah, like it depends on where you go. Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is like when you compare it like that, it's not a reasonable comparison. No, cuz like literally, like, right. It's like saying that, like, yeah, it's like saying, like, when you're like, oh, it's like 40% of the United States, but like, if you think about it, if you drive fucking one line across the United States and were to ask everybody along that line who it was accessible to, there would be far more people that tell you it's not where they're from than there are people that say there are. That's what I'm saying. So like when you go by, you're going by like populous basis, but like of course fiber's in major cities, but the United States' major populace is in those major cities. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some cities in Ohio that have 100 people, 200 people. Like of course there's not fiber out there. You're lucky you can get a mail truck to run out there. Like I was gonna say, you think they got fiber in fucking Maine? And if they do, how many houses really have it? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not as common as you think it is. I think it seems more common for you because you grew up in an area where that kind of thing is common. But when you live in Nevada, fucking bigger cities get innovation first. Like that's why it's common for you. No, but you were like, it's 40%. Right. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, it's fairly common for you. Yeah, no. Dude, I would just grab the 5080 anyway. I'd get the 9950. I mean, you can get the 78 and the 7900Xs or X3Ds are more than capable. But if you're trying to absolutely powerhouse it because you just want to, you just go 9950 X3D. Like, yeah, it's the biggest powerhouse right now.
And you know, for Call of Duty 2, Ryzen 7 works better than Call of Duty. If that's really what you're looking for, then
Right. So, I got a question though, out of curiosity. Why don't you go with like a 9950 X3D? That way you're in no way, shape, or form CPU bottlenecked. And then go with like a 4080. Yeah, because 4080 Super's MSRP right now for $1,000, and they're still sitting at number fourth in the biggest GPU graphics chart there is. No, that's without it. That's raw performance. It's fourth out of all graphics cards. Like mine is a 4080, but mine's pretty much pushing the same numbers as a 4080 Super because I'm heavily overclocked. Like when I use a benchmark, it puts me in the same bracket as the like 5080s. Yeah, but I got my 4080 for a band, literally, and that's better than paying 1600 for a 5080 when you're only getting 11% more performance. Asus has one on Amazon at 1645, but yeah, right. That's the Zotac. I'm assuming. Okay, it's 11%. Oh, oh well. I mean, it's like. I mean, yeah. It depends on market. 5080 OC. I don't even think they have a 5080 OC. Yeah, they don't have one. They do not. From who? Aces? I mean, it does, but we're also like, what I would say is like they do exist, but it's yeah, it's not like no, like if you compare it, okay, so like older OC cards come with like a factory overclock. The 5080s are just the 5080 OCs are just meant for overclocking. Like when you read up on the spec sheet, like I literally just googled what made a 5080 OC even considered an OC in general. First off, it has the same GPU clock speed as a base model. It has upgraded ball bearings for fans. It has a full copper vapor chamber, and it has uh, like a protective PCB coating. So essentially, it's just prepared to be heavily overclocked. Yeah, look at the specs on it. Like, look at Asus TUF GeForce. What's the clock speed on it though? Does it tell you? It's 2730, I believe. Hold on, let me look it up. It is, yeah, it's 2730 megahertz. That's the base clock speed. Okay, Astral cards are not in the same realm. Yeah, no, 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 no. Okay, but look at the price of the Astral. Trust me, they're not the same. For the Astral, Zotac is okay. Um, I would stay away from PNY. I don't ever recommend their graphics cards. MSIs are cool. Zotacs are okay. Obviously, Asus has the fucking best. I mean, the Zotac is cool, yeah. I mean, yeah. Ultimately, what you're paying for is like when it comes to brand, is how luxury you want the card. Like Zotac, they're always cheaper because they're bare bones. Um, at I mean, then you're looking for Zotac. They're pretty much as stock as you get. They don't have any of the bells and whistles. Oh yeah, you're talking. Oh, like just the base model NVIDIA cards? I mean, no, because NVIDIA doesn't have. I don't think they do stock 5080s unless you go with like the founders or something. It's yeah, yeah. These are just for one. Like, yeah. So yeah, those are more expensive just because they're out of stock right now. Nvidia doesn't have any. Like so, basically, what they do is like the founders editions. Like they always have like maybe like 10K of them that go live on the website first, and they always do that with founders cards. You know what I mean? That's why the founders editions end up being rare. And then after that, nobody sells them. Like if you go to Nvidia's website, whew, shit. When you click on 5080, they literally take you to the Asus Prime, the ROG Astral, the Asus Tough. The Founders Edition are out of stock. They take you to MSI, Gigabyte. Once they sell like the first 10, 15K of the Founders Editions, they leave it all up to third parties to produce the cards. That's why they're considered Founders Editions. Yeah. And they're probably expensive. Yeah. I mean, it's not too crazy. I mean, ultimately, I think NVIDIA did a really good job of making 5080 affordable in general. Because what they are. So the the thing about graphics cards, right? The thing about graphics cards is like people tend to misinterpret what the names of graphics cards actually mean. Believe it or not, when you have like a 3080, say like a 3080, a 4080, and a 5080, right? You're not hitting crazy numbers in performance changes. The 3, the 4, and the 5 are really just that means the generation. The the 60, the 70, the 80, you know what I mean? Like the 3060, the 3070, the 3080, you know what I mean? And then ultimately the 4080. Like those are all close in comparison to spec. It's when you hit that 60, 70, 80, and 90 where it makes the biggest jumps. Like even if you had a 4060 and you compare it to a 3070, the 3070s in most cases do better without frame gen, if that makes sense. So like when you compare like it's like the difference between comparing the 4080 and the 4090 to performance. You're sitting at 155% more effective speeds at 30% higher average benchmarks. So like that's really where the performance jump comes. Like 70s cards are always worse than 80s cards. 80s cards are always worse than 90s cards. So like you're paying obviously for performance. Having a 5090 just means you're getting the peak card because 90 is the last version of the card other than the 6000 series. But you're getting it in the 5th generation. Like that's why like 3060s always have I think 8 gigs of RAM. I think 3070s always have like 12 or 4070s. You know what I mean? Then when you go to 4080s, you normally have 16 gigs of RAM. And then when you go to the 90 series, like the 3090, the 4090, the 5090, it's 24 gigs of VRAM. Like even a 3090s compare. Like that's like Caesar's card. It's like his 2080 is that's why it still remains relevant to this day because it's still an 80 series card. It's just a second generation of what was considered that best card. Like obviously as technology grows though with the generations, like comparing a 4080 and a 2080, you know what I mean? The generation gap shows. But that's really what you're paying for. You get that performance jump going from the 80 series to the 90 series. Yeah. That's why like well, when I was like when I first started building PCs, believe it or not, I completely believed that the number in front was what mattered. I'm like, oh, this is a 50. Like, if you would have asked me when I first started building PCs if I would have took a 5060 over like a 3080, I would have told you the 5060 no matter what. Because I thought the 5 actually meant something, yeah. And that's how most people actually buy their graphics cards. Yeah, I mean, they don't, like, graphics card markets literally prey on people that way, yeah. So, like, it literally, the number in front just shows generation. That's it. Yeah. Nvidia hasn't made any um they haven't made any fucking announcements towards the 5080 Super and they're probably not going to do one. I was gonna say even Linus Tech Tips has a fucking forum on why he thinks they're not going to do it due to RAM shortages now. Because in order to make a 5080 Super, you have to have bigger memory modules than the 4080 did. And good luck with that. AI is an issue. But yeah, no, I would just I'll buy you a 5080. Like I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think if you were to buy like a 9950 X3D, which is like the peak CPU, and then a 5080, you'd be completely fine. Because like I said, I can achieve 300 FPS on my rig. And the 9950 X3D is right, but so in my case, right, the reason I can't achieve higher FPS isn't my graphics card at all. It's actually the fact that my CPU is fucking throwing. No, I have the 12900K. And like when COD really is really CPU intensive. Like I know it might not seem like it, but in most cases it's the CPU that throws. So if you have the maxed out CPU, I 100% without a doubt believe you could achieve 300 FPS stable if you had the 9950 and then the 5080 because then the CPU is beefy enough to carry. You know what I mean? Like the 9950. Okay, well, see, here's right. That's not hardware though. That's what I, that's the game. It's not hardware. 1K, I promise you if you right. Right. No, okay. But there's also things that like you're okay. For instance, look at all these streamers that are achieving this high FPS and everything. For one, the common thing you'll notice in a lot of these people is they do not do it all on one PC. Like, if I like, because I do have my streaming PC and my gaming PC. Right now, my streaming PC isn't pulling enough, like, it's not pulling its own weight enough to stream from. So I still stream from my gaming PC, and I run all of my extra like Discord bots, server hosts for the bots, everything. I run all of that on my secondary PC, which you would consider my streaming PC. I stream from my primary PC right now. Most of these people that are achieving 300 FPS are streaming from a totally separate PC. That way, 100% of their performance can go to playing COD. A lot of these people that have, like, Swag is one of them because he's known for having extremely high FPS. Well, if you go on fucking Splav's YouTube channel, he literally shows him building Swag's PC. And let me tell you, everything in that fucking computer is stripped down, bro. You turn that thing on, there's no RGB software. You can't connect to Wi-Fi remotely because they disabled all of the drivers. You can't connect to Bluetooth. They disabled all of the drivers. Like, it is extremely stripped down. There's literally like Windows, you can buy a USB like from Splave, and it's called Overclockers OS, right? It's initially what I used to fucking build Caesar's PC. And essentially what it is it's a version of Windows that has nothing on it. Like, it doesn't even index when you file search. And a lot of people use that on their PCs. So like, you're not taking up any extra bandwidth if your PC can't even send a fucking request out to your internet provider. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes the difference because you can use 100% of your motherboard's Ethernet capacity if you have Wi-Fi rated for it just to go into COD. You're maxing out your 2.5 gig switch to play COD. That's why half of that is achievable. It's not like you could sit here and go the 5090 route, like I said, and I promise you could go beefed up PC. And if you're not having, like, if your Windows isn't optimized for it, if your Wi-Fi isn't optimized for it, you're still not going to achieve those numbers stable. That's how COD is. Guarantee you wouldn't. Right. Right. And what I'm telling you is I could achieve that. Right. Right. And here's what I'm going to tell you. It No, it does. Like 700, 700Ks are very capable. They're just not COD capable. Um, right. So, right. So, I'm assuming that even if you look at his specs for the 4080, what you're going to find is he's got a hell of a CPU, probably rocking the 4900K or a 7800X 3D, somewhere in that ballpark. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you can also. So, the beefier the CPU you have, the more it allows to your graphics card to focus frames. Oh, he just left. Crazy work. Oh. Yeah, no. So like the right. So if you got a beefy CPU, I'm assuming this guy's gonna tell you he's got a 14900K. He's gonna tell you he's got a 7800X 3D. He's gonna tell you something in that ballpark. You know what I'm saying? If you have a beefy enough CPU that you can also keep cool enough to not thermal throttle, you can take majority of the graphics related load off of your GPUs so it can focus on frames. He mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. So that's literally what I was attempting to get at. He's got a beefy ass CPU. The 13700K, although it is only one generation above mine, makes almost 20% more performance out of just the single CPU. It is the second Nvidia or the second Intel CPU, like best to none but the 14900K, if that makes sense. Like, so he's got a beefy CPU, and his CPU is handling all the background load. It's handling all of the like extra shit. So his graphics card is strictly focusing COD because you right. But what like basically what I'm telling you is you can attempt to future proof for COD for sure. There's still no guarantee you can do that though, because like again, look at how the rate of COD has gone. It has gone solely less hardware dependent every year. It's tailoring itself since literally Cold War, for instance. Like, dude, I peaked frames Cold War, and then the Modern Warfare series came out, and my frames were good probably until I'm pretty sure Modern Warfare 3, believe it or not. And then the second they switched it to you still have to generate frames via Wi-Fi is when your hardware started to matter less. Like literally the second COD was like, okay, on-demand texture streaming is no longer an option. That's what. Right. So if you want to run continuous frames and run things background, like I said before, you're going to want to max out CPU. You're gonna want to beef that the fuck up. And then you're going to want to run like if you get a 5080, you're gonna want to run a 14900K. You're gonna want a 9950 X3D. That's the only way you're gonna achieve stable, high frames in that ball range without issues. But I can't tell you, like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and be like, yeah, 1K. Even if you buy this, you're gonna forever have 300 frames because they're gonna come out with the next COD and fuck it up. Right. Well, the reason I think you're bottlenecked now, anyways, is because your CPU is so bad compared to your GPU. In my opinion. No, you could certainly get more frames out of it. Like I said, even with a 7700X, I mean, like shit. Give me a day and a half with that puppy. I'll show you some good frames. Boost some of them core clocks up. Get your pump running a little heavier. You can get some good frames. But for like right now, I think the 150 frame mark is, well, what seems about right. My brother runs at like 170 and he's got a 12700K, like the last version of the i7, and he's got a 4060. But his load is strictly CPU driven. He's bottlenecked by his GPU being slower. That's why he runs the game better. Like mine, on the other hand, you're like me. Like my frames don't stay stable because I have such a beefy graphics card, but my CPU can't keep up. But like if you just go in COD and run a simple benchmark test that they have in COD, COD itself will tell you the problem. Like when you end those benchmarks, it'll tell you whether your CPU or GPU bottlenecked. And if your GPU bottleneck says 0%, but your CPU says like fucking even 5%, that tells you where you're struggling. That means your CPU is not keeping up with the frames that your graphics card can generate. Which, when you're talking high numbers like 300, 5% makes a lot. That's a 20 frame difference right there. If you're 5% bottlenecked on your CPU, that's like what, 15 frames right there on average, without considering the highs and the lows. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't blame you, bro. There's like hell. It's crazy to me that Truly's PC tanks at any game she plays except for COD. Like Caesar's PC is a tank on every game except for COD. My PC is a tank on almost every game except for COD. But I can load into Minecraft and run 1,000 FPS because fuck it, why not? Like, I can load into Apex and run close to 400 FPS because I feel like it. Like, hell, Fortnite I could reach in the higher 600s if I turn my fucking texture qualities down. It's not the systems, it's the game. Literally, the game is better. No, for sure. I was gonna say, I'm at that point now to where, like, trust me, dude. I'm at that fucking arc where COD's just. I'm getting bored of it. I'm tired of being fucking. Like, first off, with the hardware that I have, I should be running fucking COD tremendous amount of frames. Why, for some reason, I could stream and get like 150 FPS compared to like the fucking 300 and something I don't when I don't stream makes no sense to me. COD made that fuck up, and I don't think they should have. Fucking that on-demand texture streaming part was the fucking bullshit that created the problem with streamers needing two PCs in the first place. No, the reason they did that is because now that it's mandatory, as long as you're on console and you have decent Wi-Fi, you don't need a good graphics card to generate frames. That's what it is. You can sit here and lie to people that are on fucking Xboxes and be like, oh yeah, you can push 120 frames because on-demand texture streaming is loading that shit in so your console doesn't have to do it itself. Literally. So it seems like it makes it more fair to console players, but really it just shits on PCs because we pay thousands for these fucking things and ironically pay it to the same company that owns COD now. But they still have to try to level the playing field between us and the shitter that's still on his Xbox One in his basement. Like, if fucking Call of Duty took it back to raw performance, bro, cakes.